Welcome, beautiful beings, to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over in this video how to hold space from your heart and make 5 figures as a mentor, space holder, healer, or light worker. I'm Shika, I'm a medicine woman, and I'm a channeler, and I really help souls learn how to hold space and be abundant while doing so and supported from their heart. And I've helped over hundreds of beings heal and learn how to hold space. So I'm really excited to share this initiation, which really it is an initiation with you. I was going to say information, but it's an initiation for you to tap into why you're not able to fully feel held by your space holding and by your gifts, and to understand by the end of this video that you are going to have more confidence and feel empowered to do so. So before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bell so you don't miss a video, and also let me know if this is your first time with a rainbow emoji. Introduce yourself. Let's see if you guys can share with me what is the space you want to hold, what are your gifts, and just introduce whatever you feel called to share in your heart. I do read every single one of them. And if you are feeling called to learn how to be a space holder, successful space holder, and be abundant while doing so, I highly suggest you applying to the Earth Dharma program training. It's a 1-year program that teaches space holders with community and support how to work with the earth for the new earth and really expand and be abundant while doing that. So I'm really excited for that program. I also have medicine retreats and one-on-ones. All that information is in my link tree down below. Let's get into this video on how to become a space holder, a healer, a mentor, a light worker, and really make 5 figures. One thing I will share with you guys, because a lot of people hear these words, 5 figures, 6 figures. What is 5 figures? 5 figures is being able to bring in anywhere from 10,000 to 99,000 in through your abundance of space holding. And I think it's important to talk about this because one of the biggest things I notice with a lot of people who are having a hard time with hitting a 5-figure in their business is getting comfortable talking about money and talking about it without feeling guilty or without feeling triggered, or at least managing that trigger, right? And I think that is something to consider. So just be mindful as you're receiving this initiation, this channel message, these tips for you guys. I'm going to go over 5 secrets that I share with the people I mentor, and those that are my paid clients, and I'm giving that to you. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you guys is start sharing measurable success, not measurable pain. This is such a deep, potent message to allow you to receive 5 figures and impact more people in your community. And I think a lot of people, when they share things, whether they're sharing their story on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or to their community from word of mouth, whatever way that you want to connect with your community, a lot of the time people talk about pain, right? We've come to this society where a lot of people tend to create marketing and wealth from pain, such as talking about, all the things people are doing wrong, right? That you're not thinking of abundance and you're not doing this and you're not doing that. And if you're struggling and like that lower frequency energy to meet that person there. But one of the biggest things about your community and really you as a space holder is to embody someone, to empower someone, not to allow them to sit in their pain more, right? So I want you to ask yourself, what are some things you can talk about that is measurable, celebration and embodiment, not light and love and like talking about the positive all the time. Obviously, as a shadow work and a medicine woman, I know that there will be things and resistance and work that we'll have to do. And that's something that you will do with them when you're ready to work with them, when they do come into this space and they're working with you. But in the meantime, ask yourself, how can you speak from a space of measurable support, measurable success? And some great examples of that, of how to really bring the right people into your space, is understanding what are some of the exciting celebrations of the people you've served so far. So for example, one thing that you can do is telling them like, okay, the celebration that this last client that I had was that they were able to get rid of their insomnia after years of PTSD. That is success. Now, me talking from a space of, really measurable pain is I would be talking about this person didn't sleep very well, they were struggling, they were in this pain, but I'm not talking about how. But then the person who's receiving this information is like, but how do I heal it? Like, I resonate with this, but you're just like reminding me more of the pain I have to do, and you're not actually helping me and empowering me. So one of the biggest things I see that is an issue is the messaging and the way that you communicate and channel how you are creating measurable success and energy. Energy is everything, right? Embodying what is the success that your current clients already have. Now, for those of you who maybe just started, or maybe you're still at the beginning of the stage, maybe you don't have testimonials, which again, I talk a little bit more about that in the Earth Dharma training program. But for now, what I would suggest you doing is remember that you are your medicine, right? You are the leading space of space holding from your heart. So in that, everything you've experienced, everything that you have healed has allowed you to do what you're doing right now because you walked the walk. You have gone through those experiences. You know what it feels like to go through that trauma, that story that's in your mind that you decide to live there and there again, right? You understand the impact of energy. You understand the impact of your mind. So when talking about creating and gravitating and manifesting more clients, more people in your community to support, one of the biggest things is ask yourself, can I speak from a place of measurable success from my story that it relates emotionally to the people I talk to? And speak from a space from my heart. A lot of the times, a lot of my content here, or even the things I channel, or the moon channel messages and all of that, always relates back to a lot of the things that not only have I experienced, but also that I'm witnessing and seeing around me, right? And it can come from a conversation you had with someone or a potential client. There are so many ways that you can bring that into a space of teaching and empowerment, and how you were able to do that and giving that wisdom to your clients, whether that is through content, whether that is through storytelling, whether that is through connection of them asking questions about what you offer and what your space holding is like. This is what's going to empower them and get them excited to joining your space holding. The second way of how to hold space and successfully make 5 figures as a mentor, as a healer, as a light worker, as a channeler, as a being that is here to do the earth's work, is that, help others heal is not the purpose. So get specific. You know how many people I have, whether they are applying for my programs, and I really look at this. So if you've applied, like, this might be great for you as well. But a lot of times when people are starting the journey and they're starting to want to step into this space to, be whether it's part-time, full-time, whatever, you want to go into space holding, you want it to be something that is part of your purpose. A lot of the times, healing the world, healing your community is not your purpose. The biggest thing I want to share with you is, as a mentor, as a light worker, as someone, I even put healer, but I put healer because that's what people gravitate to, but you're really the healer. Like, everyone is the healer of themselves. So really what you are is a guide, right? So you want to ask yourself, what are you guiding people to receive through working with you? And if you aren't able to specifically share what it is and embody and own that you can do that for those people, then they're going to feel a little lost, right? And this is one of the biggest mistakes I see with a lot of space holders, light workers, guides, mentors, coaches, whatever you want to call, people who are supporting people to guide them essentially to get that 5 figures. A lot of people feel like, okay, you want to heal, but there's Reiki, there's plant medicine, there's past life regression, there's Akashic records, there's channeling, there's mediumship. You can heal in so many different ways. I want you guys to tell me in the comments down below, what are the gifts that you have that helped you heal? And what are the gifts out of those gifts? Which one are you ready and excited to embody and to share with your community? Right? That's what you have to look at. So you can talk, for example, a great example of explaining your purpose or your Dharma, I like to say, because Dharma is what we do for others in our community. Purpose is how we fill our cup in order for us to be ignited to channel and to do what we're meant to do. That's a whole other video. If you would like me to do a video about that, put a lightning bolt emoji down below. But all this to say is when we're talking about this energy of like being specific, it's like I am meant to help other mediums learn how to channel at their highest frequency for people who've passed away. That's very specific. So you know that it's people who are interested in psychic abilities, mediumship. You know that it's someone who probably maybe gravitates or maybe has very like metaphysical experiences of dreaming of people who passed away like since a young age. There are certain things you can hit on and talk about because you yourself also experience that, but then you know that if people don't resonate with that, they're not going to be in your space, right? So it not only helps them, but it helps you be specific and make sure that you are in the right areas and the right time and the right connections that you're meant to do. So again, one of the biggest things saying my purpose is meant to heal, I'm here to help the collective, is too vague. And that is why you're not able to get the 5 figures, is because the wrong people are going into the pool. And until you specifically understand what are you helping healing, what are you helping them with that measurable success, that is going to be really hard for you to hit that. So luckily you know this now, so you're ready to go into that space. Say no to people that your gut, your heart says to say no to. So there are many reasons why you might have someone that might be interested. How many of you guys have had experience where someone has probably said, hey, I'm really interested, and then they don't show up, right? The first thing I'm going to share with you before going into that is it has nothing to do with you. It's just them not ready, right? But what does have something to do with you is if you're affected by that and you allow yourself to be impacted by them saying no or not showing up or rejection. I always say rejection is protection. So when you're having a 5-figure business and you're in that frequency of being a space holder, of being a light worker and being abundant while doing that, it's really important for you to understand with love that that person's not ready, with love that that person's not in the right space, that it isn't a priority for them to be in that space. Or maybe they're not ready now, but you planted the seed. And I've had people who sometimes they weren't ready and it was actually a blessing. A year or two later, they messaged me, Shika, I'm ready. I'm sorry. Like I just had a lot going on. I don't take anything personally. I'm like, okay, you're ready. Here's what you have to do to commit to yourself, right? It's them showing up about themselves. The moment that we get triggered emotionally from that, what blocks us from getting that 5-figure, you know, abundance of money coming to us to support us with what we do in service to this earth is that, you know, we take that and think that it's about us. Oh, them saying no means I'm not good enough. Them saying no means that I don't have enough tools to be a space holder. My gifts aren't good enough and I need to learn more from other space holders. Them saying no means that I'm not working hard enough. So we create these stories. And this is why I say that energy is everything about creating, whether it's 5 figures, 6 figures, millions of dollars, whatever it is, right? I've been able to have many 5 figures, many 6 figures in my business multiple times. And I'm really grateful for that. But that was because a lot of times I was triggered. I'm not going to lie. Like there are times when I was triggered and sometimes I would be able to hold it. And other times I would not be able to hold it because I was so overwhelmed. And I wish I knew that I didn't need to take it personally until I had my mentors tell me that, hey, Shika, there's something you have to look at here. So how we're able to really hold space in our heart and make those 5 figures and be supported abundantly is really understanding that the person's not ready. It's nothing personal about you. Maybe you need to look at, you know, the way that your energy is transferring if you are getting triggered, and knowing that you're seeding something, so that person might be ready later on. So don't look at it as a lose, but look at it as a win, whether they reach out to you in a year or they don't, because you're making space for the people that you're ready and they're ready to fully be a full body yes, to be supported by you. But usually I will say that this happens more and more less, if you will, less often, when we know our measurable successes we can share with our community and share and celebrate together about the people you're helping. But then also you're embodying, you're empowering them, and you're helping them heal beyond just healing them with purpose. You're being specific of how are my gifts are meant to heal? How is my story part of what I'm here to service? You know, and being in that full service, not about you, but now being on the other side of that to allow that person to have a choice to embody, to be empowered in that space. The next way of how to hold space and to receive 5 figures in your mentoring, your space holding, your light worker, your being a space holder guide business is that embodiment. Walk the talk, don't just talk the talk. This I see so many times. When people share with me their dharma, how they're meant to help this world, their legacy that they want to leave beyond just their life. And then we get to the portion when I'm starting to talk to them and I say, hey, awesome, that's amazing. And we drop down into embodiment. Then I start asking the deep questions. And then the next thing you know, they're like, whoa, this was deeper than I thought. This isn't just the mentoring. Yes, it is you figuring out and seeing all the masks that you wear and see what are you truly, right? So this talk the talk and talking about all the things that you're doing is great to be inspired. But at the same time, how we get to the 5 figures is really going into walking it, being part of it, you know, not waiting for spirit to show up for you to show up for your community. When you start showing up today the way that you want to show up when those people are knocking or ringing at your doorbell when you don't expect it, right? It's like having a guest and you have your home, right? And if you were to just like not care about your space and just have it cluttered and hoard a whole bunch of stuff, and all these amazing people are waiting at your door and they ring the doorbell and you weren't expecting them, and then you're like, oh my God, and you're panicking because you're like, oh, the place, it's like that, right? That's how your energetic body is. So you really have to walk the walk. It's like, don't talk about abundance if you are struggling to receive wealth and abundance, right? I wouldn't be talking about 5 figures if I didn't receive 5 figures multiple times through my business, right? I've done it multiple times again, and it gets easier because you're embodying, you know what's working, you know what's not working for you. And as you evolve, you can check in with yourself and say, okay, I'm shifting, right? So walk it. Don't just talk it. Don't just say it just to get people there, because what's going to happen is when you get the client, they're going to be disappointed and you're going to end up having to step into your truth. And I always say that sometimes humiliation is something that teaches us depth, right? The shame is something that we can either witness or experience in our lifetime, not only through our business, but in our life. And if we have that untethered shame from past experiences, that bleeds into our business, right? And instead of embodiment, we think that we have to do something to make up for what we are or who we've become, right? And then that is what impacts us to not have this very beautiful business that is here for you already, right? So again, embodiment. What are you embodying? Who are you really? You know, a great thing to ask yourself right now is, what are the biggest things that you're scared of someone knowing right now? You know, if there's something, you can write it in your journal as we're talking and you're jotting all these notes, but you know, what is something that you feel that would be so embarrassing for someone to know? And you meet that shame and ask yourself that same emotion, how does that go and where is that mirrored in your business if so? And to look at that, because then when we can look at it, we're like, okay, I see you. Now I get to be the writer of my own story. How amazing is it that you are the producer and director of your own story and decide that you don't have to live that shame anymore. You see it, you put love for that version of your shadow self, so your business can expand and you can create spaciousness for the higher self that you're meeting. And in doing that, you empower yourself, which bleeds and that blows into your business, and you are also empowering your clients. And it gets me really excited for you. The last step or last tip that I have for you on how to hold space from your heart and make over 5 figures in your business again and again, because that's what I want for you as a mentor, healer, light worker, is that there are parts of you that are still hiding. This is one of the biggest things. If there's anything I could have shared with you today, it is there are parts of you that are still hiding. Wow. Take it in. A lot of the times when we are doing this work, especially if you're a space holder, you're a healer, you do this work constantly. The biggest responsibility that you have is that making sure that you are able to shift and evolve your personal self and have that mirror in your business. There's a lot of people that are doing the same systems and operating as they would when they first started, and they're not operating as a 5-figure. That's the biggest issue. And if you are someone right now that doesn't feel present when you're holding space, it's not as consistent for you, or you're feeling like stuck energy, like it's up and down for you personally in your life, that is a sign that something is not balanced and there's something that is not working, right? You can't allow yourself to operate at the same way that you did day one of creating your space holding as you do being a 5-6 figure. And that was something that I had to really learn the hard way, because at the end of the day, I had to understand that there was a part of me that was still hiding. And a lot of the times these are new gifts that you have acquired through your channeling and shifting. A lot of the times it's new direction. Maybe before you used to do tarot card readings and now you're going more into healing or coaching. Maybe before you used to do more channeling and clearing negative energy, and now you want to go into more empowerment and sensuality and embodiment and tantra. So it's a completely different space. Now, what part of you is still attached to the old identity of you? That is what's preventing your 5-figure business, because you are dragging that version of you in an anchor that is wrapped around your waist, and it's making you hard to move forward. It feels slow. It feels laggy. So the biggest question you can ask yourself is, what part of you are you afraid of completely shedding, and what part of you are you afraid of servicing a new version of a community? Because the community you're serving right now is shifting, and you're communicating to this community that can't relate to and you should be communicating the way that you are in full truth, that this is what I'm here to do, and this is how I've evolved, and this is how I'm shifting. And this is something that I go into in the Earth Dharma healers training. I talk out healers, so Earth Dharma training program, because I feel, again, everyone is their own healer. And this is a 1-year program that teaches you how to be a successful space holder. And my intention for you is the tools I give you are the same tools that allow me to hit the 5 figures, the 6 figures, that I still use them today, even as I've exceeded over that. So again, if that is something that is interest of you, I highly suggest you applying down below and knowing that this is for someone who is just starting their space, that have been in space holding forever, and those that are in the transitional period. It's for all of the souls that feel called to hold space and impact community and be abundant while doing so. So you can apply down below. I feel like that's it on how to become a space holder, and I'll leave it there to make 5 figures. And I just want to say that this is just the beginning, and I'm so excited for you to apply all these amazing techniques that I have shared with my clients, and you are now given that. And let me know how you're feeling. How are you feeling after this? Also, let me know what else you would like to learn that can support you in your space holding. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells, share it with a friend. Don't forget to also be around, because I'm going to be sharing more of these amazing things. And if this is your jam, that's your energy, then I'd love to see you in this fam. And lastly is, if you're interested in retreats, one-on-ones, as well as trainings, especially the Earth Dharma training, you can apply all down below in my link tree. That's it. I'm so excited. I can barely talk. I'll leave it there. I hope you have an amazing